Welcome to another edition of Tech Fireside Chats with your host, Joel Martin. Take it away, Joel.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Wait, I hope it's not, there's no lag there. Okay, we're back. And we're live with Courtney Stanley. And should I say CS Consulting? Is that what you want me to say?
Yeah, CS Consulting is my company. Yeah, that's perfect.
So I'm trying to figure out why I'm having this lag. I don't know what I did.
I don't know. You sound great to me, though. So hopefully the audience, is experiencing the same stuff.
Let's let you talk. Hi, how are you doing? Where are you calling us today from? It's Michigan.
Yes, so I'm based in Michigan. I live in Grand Rapids, which is on the west side of the state, just about a half hour east of Lake Michigan, which is one of the most beautiful lakes in the world. If you haven't seen it, you definitely have to check it out.
Okay. I should. I love Michigan. I don't get out there, especially these days. I'm locked in a virtual cabin.
Right. Yeah, it looks cozy though. It looks nice.
It's really warm here. It really is. So I got my coffee. You got your water?
I do. I have my massive goal-crushing water bottle that helps me stay hydrated, which is good because I'm telling you, it's the secret to not being a terrible water drinker. It's changed my life, and I would recommend everybody check it out. Nice.
And did you get that at a trade show?
No.
Oh.
No, I know. I kind of get weird about the giveaways at trade shows. I think it can actually end up being pretty wasteful. So I normally don't take anything that clutters my suitcase and clutters my home. So no, this was a birthday gift from my older sister.
Well, today's prize came from a trade show, so I'm going to give it away to our first caller. This mug came from a trade show, which this one came from Exhibitor Show. And
nice.
This shirt came from from South by Southwest.
Oh,
so
cool.
I'm the complete opposite. I just love trade shows. There should be a game where you show up at a trade show with nothing but shorts and a t-shirt, and you have to see if you can make it back with a full outfit, right?
Totally.
I got in like free Nikes at trade shows and
see,
sunglasses.
Now that kind of stuff, yes. Like if it's a really, really good giveaway that I'm going to use, I'm all for it. But if it's, and no shade, but if it's another water bottle, I'm probably not going to take it.
It won't be as good as that one.
No, this is a winner. This is definitely the winner.
That's good reconnecting. When did we last see each other in the real world?
So I'm pretty sure it was at IMEX in Las Vegas last fall. And I think we met at the Event Tech meetup. I'm pretty sure that's where it was.
It was the women's Event and Tech meetup.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. With the Association for Women in Events and Women in Event Tech.
Oh, yeah. And all the team members. Okay. Hold on a second. Seems like my I don't know if I'm having issues with the streaming. Somebody just texted me that I'm having issues with streaming. So I apologize to our viewers on this show episode. Let's see. Live, we have somebody calling in here to let me know. Just texted me, my friend Bobby, who's
good
watching
old Bobby.
the show.
Thanks, Bobby.
Yeah. So
shout out to Bobby. I think Bobby should get that mug.
We'll see if he comes in. So let's see. Let me hit. I just want to check to make sure that it's streaming the right way.
Okay.
Because we can record, and that's fine. It's recording, but I want to make sure that it's streaming. So give me 1 second.
Okay.
It does look like it's streaming.
Yeah, it shows up as live on my end, so I think it is pushing out.
Okay, I think it's working. This is the new age we live in.
This is so normal.
Yeah,
this is so normal now. Yeah.
there's some type of lag going on with everything. It could be my computer. I might just need to buy a new computer. I haven't updated. Anyways, let's get back to it's recording. So we'll get back to what's happening.
Okay, sounds good, Joel.
With you. So tell me your story, which is really why we're here.
Oh gosh. Well, where to start? I'll give you a little bit of background about how I got into the events industry. I think that's probably a good place to start. So
wait, let me do the intro. Motivational speaker, right?
Yeah.
It's me. I think it might be my virtual background. It's too much. All right, motivational speaker, industry spokesperson. You're with SITE, MPI, PCMA, all these different names, IMAX, and you have a podcast, which is amazing. So I'll let you take it away. There you go. That was my job.
Okay, sounds good. So I actually studied event management and hospitality in university. So I entered the industry by choice and intention, which I know is a newer thing. I think a lot of people kind of stumble into it in one way or another, but I was ready to just dive in since I graduated from college. And I actually thought that I wanted to be an event planner for really, really high profile events like, the Emmys, the Grammys, doing those sort of entertainment award shows, which I think is super cool. And so I started out actually as an intern at the Country Music Association and helped with their Country Music Award show. Super cool experience. But then I wanted to try something else. And I'm going to back up here for a second, because one of the reasons why I was so excited about this industry is because of my indecisiveness. So even though I entered into the industry with intention and I was excited about it, getting to that place of deciding to step into this world was basically because I had no clue what I wanted to do. I wanted to do so many things. I wanted to travel the world. And so my decision really led me to this field because there were so many opportunities to change course, to try new things. So I actually lived in Boston for a couple years, and I worked as a corporate event planner there for an agency. And then I moved up to Toronto in Canada and worked there for a few years for an event technology company doing PR and brand marketing for them. And then I decided I wanted to totally change course and get into the world of politics. So I actually worked in a communications and events role for an environmental political group that's based in Michigan. And from there, transitioned into what I'm doing now, which is a full-time keynote speaker, event MC, podcaster, and career coach. But I will, before I stop talking.
Few things.
I know. But this is where the shiny object I wanted to try so many things and see the world stemmed from. But so I've been speaking and writing on the side for years. So regardless of what job I was doing, who I was working for, I really loved it. I loved taking the stage. I loved running workshops and connecting with people. So after the last job that I left at the end of last year, I realized that this was going to be the year that I transitioned full-time into that world of passion, which is that speaking world.
And somehow it became virtual.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was like the big plot twist of starting this new decade, obviously, was COVID. And so when I first kicked off my entrepreneurial venture back in January, the problems that I thought that I would have as a business owner, a brand new business owner, are so not the problems that I ended up having, just because, we got thrown a curveball. So what are you going to do?
And it's an interesting business. I mean, as you know, I've been in the events industry and selling technology, which we'll touch on in a few minutes. But I was always amazed when I joined, and maybe this is something you've touched on your podcast. By the way, you can find Courtney at her website. I'm plugging it there at the bottom.
Thank you. Yeah, check it out.
Yeah, and she's also on the Dare to Interrupt podcast, so you can listen in. And some good points. Most of my clients, I would say 75, 85% of my clients over the years in event technology rentals, whether it was photo booths or phone charging stations, or even my brief stint in furniture, were women. I would say 85% of my clients were women. Something I noticed that people don't tend to talk about in event rentals in the meetings and trade show industry is that it's like 85% women, but then the owners is like 90% male or more. And I've always wondered, why more, females don't go in and start their own business, being that it's such a heavily, women industry, right? I mean, I don't know that didn't. I don't know if that came across the way I wanted it to come across.
Yeah, so I totally hear your point. And I think there's a difference between women leading in roles within organizations and corporations and being an entrepreneur. So I think that we're talking about two different things here because
maybe we should encourage that more entrepreneurship. That's where,
well,
okay.
Yeah, to read up on what that roller coaster is going to be like. But yes, entrepreneurship is not for everyone. Whether you're a man or a woman, it's a very challenging role that can be very rewarding if you stick with it and you do the right things. You know, blah 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 blah. But going back to women in leadership in general in the industry. Yes, that's absolutely true. So the industry is made up of about, 75 to 80% women, but significantly less women hold roles of leadership within their corporation or their organization. So actually, Joel, that is one of the reasons or the factors that inspired me to create this Dare to Interrupt podcast, which is in partnership with Meetings Today. They've been wonderful to work with. And
I love their intro. I mean, you have a voice before your voice, which I think is great.
Right. Yeah, that's Danielle Lebrecq. She has a great, soothing introductory voice, which is awesome. So Dare to Interrupt essentially it's a platform and an opportunity for women in the events, hospitality, and tourism space to share their advice, to share their experiences, their wisdom, their stories uninterrupted. And it's meant to take a look at the stories of women within our space who have done really, really inspiring things. So either they've climbed to really high levels of leadership, they've started their own business, they've changed the game in some way. It's a really cool opportunity for the audience to listen in and almost get some sort of strategic mentorship opportunity where you can really learn from the best of the best within our space.
I think that's important too, because I've always been attracted to technology companies. Right now I'm with CodeFirm and I'm working with SwiftMile. I'm dealing with all this frontier technology that's very cutting edge. And a lot of it does apply to the events industry, whether it's e-scooters at South by Southwest or in the future, because events will come back and there will be a world, where COVID's under control. I hope.
Yes. Yes.
Hopefully there's no COVID-22 or 25, and we'll get to that world eventually. But events will come back, and CodeFirm makes amazing technology. I mean, whether it's machine vision or we have this great software for measuring temperature, and it can look at heart rate and perspiration. Sometimes a little bit over the top, because right now I see that a lot of people in technology are doing, in events especially, they're doing the minimal viable solution in order to bring back events. They're so desperate to bring back events that they're not realizing that maybe for now hybrid is good enough. Mm-hmm. We don't need a large convention. I know that it's a self-fulfilling industry where the trade show, the convention centers that we built and these hotels that we built have to be filled because investors are pushing for events to come back. But maybe you don't have to answer all these questions, by the way, because I'm putting you on the spot. But I don't know if we're really embracing the technology needed to monitor people at a large scale, right? And to make them feel safe. Because there was a trade show about a week ago in Orlando where they brought all the industry back together, 1,500 people at the largest testing site in Florida for COVID. And, yes, everybody looked like they were 5 or 6 feet apart, but I'm a trade show junkie. I do 5 shows a week. I've done, Pizza Expo and Nightclub and Bar Show in Vegas in the same day, right? And I still didn't want to go. So I didn't feel safe with the level of technology yet. And I'm wondering if maybe for now, virtual and hybrid is good enough, that we should just say as an industry, let's embrace it. I mean, I don't care what app you use. I don't care if it's Zoom or Teams or one of the meeting app companies that decided to become a virtual company, or, hey, look, ViewStub, one of our sponsors, right? But that's good. It can work. I mean, we're having a conversation, right? So I don't know. I mean, do you feel there's too much of a push to go back to normal too soon? Maybe that's my question for you as an event technologist.
Yeah. So a lot of good stuff that you touched on there. I do think that there's too much of a push. Yeah, it's always the caffeine. I really do think that you can't force it. I mean, the virus is not something that is in our control. I think that sure, if it's a really small gathering where you can actually really keep people safe, okay, that's a different story. But these bigger expos, these bigger conferences that are happening, it's not guaranteed that people are actually going to be safe in that space. So I think it's great that the technology companies are improving, especially the ones where they can read temperatures and that kind of thing. That's awesome. These are all things that are going to move us forward in the right direction. But I think that it comes down to, is it worth the risk? Because I think that it is so out of our hands and out of our control, whether someone shows up and maybe they're asymptomatic and then they spread it to people in XYZ ways. And I think that virtual and hybrid, yes, I think they're great solutions. I think they're what we need right now. I think that hybrid will definitely continue to be something that's super valuable in the future. So I think that's actually a really good way for us to evolve as an industry. But of course, we're not going to meet all of the needs and desires of our attendees by just being virtual all the time. But for now, is it the way that's going to guarantee people's safety? Yes. So I think it's a tough call that businesses have to make because, do they go under? Do they lay off half their workforce? Do they, there are these really tough questions that they're grappling with.
No, I totally, I've been on both sides of the coin, and it is emotional to talk about these things. But I look at SITE, which you're part of, and PCMA, and everybody, MPI, ILEA, they're all embracing virtual or these, renting out a movie, a car lot to make it into a, drive-in theater, right?
Theater, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and making it a stage too, and everybody's in their car on their computers and streaming to the giant screen. And I think that's really cool, and maybe this new cool age of technology, we can embrace new things like AR and VR and extended reality. And have you seen some of that? I mean, you talk to so many technologists in the industry. So do you see a bigger embrace into the virtual space? I'm not talking about the Matrix, just like extended reality, augmented reality. But do you see a push towards that in event technology now that we're at home and you have to do something fun while you're at home, but you're trying to communicate on this virtual show?
Yeah. And I think there are a lot of cool tech companies that have created new products and new features in order to help people feel more connected and more engaged and excited about the content. And something else that I think that has been really, really cool are the experiential virtual events that people have put on. So these are things like, you send a cooking kit to your attendees and you do a virtual cooking session with them. And
now you got my attention.
Like that's so cool. And I've seen, virtual wine tastings, and which I have yet to do. So if you're one of those suppliers or providers, please send me a kit. But it's just, there are so many ways to get creative, and there's so much that we can do, and partnering with our technology companies, whether it's, a streaming platform like ViewStub, which is a super cool hybrid solution.
Oh, they're going to love that. I'll tell Patrick you said that.
Oh, I love the team at ViewStub. They're awesome. So it's just, you just have to look. You have to ask.
So cooking kit, I love that. So I could be at home watching the event or working with my coworkers, and Domino's can knock on the door. You could actually order 100 pizzas and have all your employees have a pizza at the same time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's something cool that you can do, or have, custom subs or like a custom kit delivered. I love the idea of like an AR, VR kit. I wish somebody would call in with a question right now. I see some people here in the chat room. Does somebody want to join us? Anybody? I'll give them a second. Let's see if somebody joins us on the stream. But I think that could be like that next level engagement during the rest of the next few months until this gets solved, right? Yes, it won't be the long all you can eat line in Vegas anymore, but hey, some of us have to lose weight, so that's okay. I'll take a home cooking kit that works. For me.
Yeah, Trevor Louie, actually, you guys should look him up. Trevor Louie is a culinary genius. He's from the events industry. He's a good friend of mine. And he actually just put out a cookbook that's based on storytelling, and it's super cool. But anyway, he also does those virtual experiences where he'll actually do these cooking lessons with you. And it's cool because he comes from our industry. He's really, really, really engaging as a moderator, as a speaker. And then he also provides an experience that's just, fun. We don't have to be quarantined and be bored. There are lots of things that we can get involved with like that.
We have a caller.
What? That's awesome.
Hello, Bobby.
Hey,
Hi,
everybody.
Bobby.
Hello. How's it going?
Good. How are you
Nice to
doing?
meet you, Joel.
We have a
Mr. Martin, nice to
our,
meet you.
our event technologist who has come in, the event industry expert.
You're too kind. You're too kind. So, yeah, Courtney, I wanted to take the opportunity and ask you, since you are an event industry expert, as kind of Joel outlined. My studio kind of works in immersive technology. And lately we've been talking to people like yourself, see how we can help, right? So we're constantly looking for ways to innovate and help, especially in this interesting world that we live in with social distancing and all that stuff, where we can create immersive technologies like we do, using augmented reality, virtual reality, sensors, and all that stuff to really extend like the conference experience or the brand experience that a lot of these companies and the organizations are trying to figure out how to replace this kind of in-person.
Can you make an AR cooking kit? Because she just made me
Right.
hungry.
Well, what are you seeing out there? Like, what technologies
Great question.
really kind of, I don't want to say replace being, I don't think anything replaces being in person, but do a dang good job of creating a good experience.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think there are a lot of companies right now that are doing some really cool things. So one thing that I've been super impressed by is really truly the people who run their own businesses that have completely shifted gears and in able to continue serving their clients or able to, to keep their employees. And one of those companies, actually a brand new partnership that formed, is between Dalia Algazar and Sarah Solomon Dodden. They built from the ground up.
Oh, I'm a big fan of both.
Yeah, they're amazing women, and they're both women-owned businesses and entrepreneurs who staff and employ a number of people. And their first priority was to continue employing their people. And so what they did was they essentially built a virtual event platform from the ground up, totally customizable, and they are now experts in hosting and helping to build the best virtual events that they can possibly offer their clients. So that's something that I have been super impressed by, is not only the companies that have added, new features for engagement and stuff like that, but also companies that just totally reinvented themselves, did a 180 and built something new in order to keep their people employed.
Have you seen any AR or extended reality being implemented in some of these meetings and conferences?
Yeah, I could say that at least from my experience, I attend a lot of VR events these days, but I think I myself and the teams that I work with are very much in a bubble, right? Where this technology is almost old to us, right? We've been using it for such a long time, but when we talk about this to events folks, it's for me, it's an education experience. When I talk,
well, it's more relevant now. Before it was, I feel. I'm sorry, I'm jumping in, and I'm not the guest. I feel like before it was like an add-on feature to a meeting app or to the app for the show. It was fun to have as gamification, run around the trade show, scan QR codes, win a prize. And now it's like, I need to keep your interest because you're sitting at home for so long. So I want you to run in place for 10 minutes. I want you to run around the house and collect. Take different AR, engage with different AR objectives because you want that person to be engaged and come back to the screen and talk to the people and hey, I got this piece to the puzzle, right? Like maybe different employees have to collect different pieces and then they put it together to make like a Trojan horse or that's right. But you have like a puzzle and every employee gets a different piece and it's like team building. I think that's relevant now, because you got to keep people engaged at home. And that's something 302 could easily do. So I think that would be something cool. But yeah, I mean, do you feel that way too, Courtney? Like maybe before it was like an afterthought and now it's like essential to keep them engaged?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think engagement has always been at the forefront, but I think it's been a little bit of a, we'll hope that they're engaged and see what happens. And now it's like, No, they have to be engaged or they're going to shut their laptop and they're going to go do their laundry, so it is a different environment and it has become more of a priority. And I think that those types of experience with AR, with VR, I think that's so cool to get people doing something that they've never tried before. One of the really unique ways that I've seen VR used is in a philanthropic way. So, attendees or members or customers can, donate to certain charities or whatever it is. And there are companies who will, mail them a pair of glasses, or they'll send them to a website where they can actually experience the country they're sending equipment to, or the children's school, some of the children that they're helping. And it's a really cool way to immerse people in that experience when they're not able to actually be there in person. So to answer your question, yes, I think engagement is much more important now. And I think that those types of technologies are really, really helpful in making it exciting and interesting for people.
Cool. Good.
Thank you for that, Courtney.
Hey, Bobby, listen, since you're my caller and everybody else that was in the chat didn't click on the link, you win a prize today. I'm going to mail you a little Shazam pop for your desk, all right? And to congratulate you. So I'll bring it to you, or I'll mail it to you. Depends what's safer.
I'll add it to my Mickey Mouse and my VR.
Okay, great. There you go.
The ultimate champion.
This
Just racking up the
on
gifts.
behalf of Courtney and myself. You're going to get a little guy for calling in.
You're welcome, Bobby. You're very welcome.
Thank you.
I cut him off. Hey, let me bring him back. Oh, he's gone. All right, there goes our caller. But yeah, he won a prize. And if you call next week, you can win a prize too.
Woohoo! It's going to be me. It's going to be me.
You know what? Yes, I would love to have.
I'm going to win.
You're invited. You could be a co-host. Like we want questions. We want answers. We want somebody. You mentioned Miss Sullivan. Didn't you do a speaking tour with her on right after Me Too, like a year back?
Yeah. So Sarah Sullivan-Dodden is a very good friend of mine. She's also a business partner. We started a partnership called Sarah and Courtney, appropriately so, and we came together to talk about how to prevent sexual harassment from happening within the industry. So we co-created a social impact movement for our industry called Meetings 2, which is helping to bring awareness and offer educational solutions and tangible solutions to event organizers and to venues, really, to be able to prevent sexual harassment and assault from happening at their events. So Sarah and I have spoken to a number of organizations, to a number of chapters of associations, and just really dove in and got our, for lack of better words, our hands dirty in talking about sexual harassment and what you can do to prevent it from happening.
Wow. And it is, I would say it's something that happens in every industry. It's good that this industry has a group speaking about it. So that's good. Yeah. Well, on that note, virtual meetings, I think might bring some order to the chaos too. Like I don't miss the jet lag. I do miss traveling and seeing my friends in person. I mean, we're talking about IMAX. There's no IMAX this year, and CES is virtual, and everything's going virtual. So it is a little strange, but at the same time, I'm having fun with it. We're doing our podcasts, and we're doing good.
Yeah, I agree, Joel. And I think we were talking about this a little bit before we jumped on here live. But this year, I mean, it's been tumultuous. It's been challenging. It's been really stressful for a lot of people in our community. But you know what? I've also found that it has been a phenomenal opportunity to grow. There have been so many silver linings that if you look for them and if you're open to them, this could be a year of growth. This could be a complete evolution for you, for your business, for your team. There's so much opportunity in this year. And I truly believe that 2020 is the year for change and for growth. For me, it has been. This could have been the worst year ever because I launched a new business in the events industry. A pandemic struck our world, and now what? And honestly, it's been hard, but I'm so grateful for the opportunity to have been challenged to the point of being forced to choose whether I evolve and grow or I just quit and go back to working for someone else. And so it forced me to really look at my why. Why am I doing this? What is the impact I want to make? And is it worth it?
Great motivational speaker. I feel energized.
Right. Yeah, here we go.
Wow, like, you know what?
There's
That's been a good
so
year for
much-
me.
Yes.
This is a fantastic year, and things are going great, and I'm doing great at all the projects I'm involved with, and CodeFirm is doing amazing, and Bobby, I love hearing from Bobby, and I love hearing from you that you're doing good. So this is great. I want to encourage everybody to check out your website and your podcast.
Yes, please do.
And to make sure if they need a motivational speaker for their virtual event, somebody with great cooking ideas,
Right.
But any other thoughts, any innovation that you've seen, something that you would not have expected that's happened this year that is happening in events, event technology? Maybe I put you on the spot there. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm just trying to think of something different because I really truly have been impressed by, again, for lack of better words, the pivot. I think the most surprising thing about this year has been how impressive people have been with just grinding and creating. And, it's been such a difficult year for the industry, but I think so much good has come out of it. And honestly, this is a little bit of a sidebar, but I totally credit our content creators in the industry. So the writers, the people working for our publications, these guys have lost their whole team and now they're writing completely by themselves for the publications. And they are grinding and writing as much as possible to get our industry the information they need to make informed and safe decisions. So I've been so impressed with the work that people have done to protect and to lift up our community, because that's what this community is all about. We're all about building relationships. We're all about bringing people together. And in a year where that's not possible in the traditional way, we're still doing it.
And I think the companies and the leaders that have stuck by their employees and not made drastic decisions and just let everybody go. I mean, I think all of that is going to come back. People that really got big during this COVID era are going to be bigger when it's over. And you know what? Yes, it takes a lot of guts to do what you're doing, to start a consulting business during the pandemic. But you need positive people. You need people that are going to speak from the heart and get up there and talk about things that are difficult to talk about sometimes. I mean, I have to say, I wouldn't be able to talk to an audience about a difficult subject like some of the ones you've tackled on your podcast, or even me too, or that takes guts. It takes courage. It really does.
Thanks, Joel.
Yeah, no, I'm
thank you. I really appreciate that.
And to pivot and talk about technology or how to run a great meeting or how to bring change to an organization, you have to know a lot of subjects. I mean, a lot of subjects that have to do with human interaction and the way people the way people behave.
Yes.
And those are tough things to tackle for any business owner. So it's good that they can bring in an expert to help them, because sometimes owners think they know everything. and the best thing you can do is bring in an expert to help you,
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And this is something that I actually have realized within the last few months or so, as I've been doing, more virtual speaking engagements, more virtual MC engagements, is that I actually have surprised myself. Actually, I don't know why I didn't realize this before, but because I have a background in event technology, there's so much information that I can transfer over to event organizers, to meeting planners, about how to optimize your sponsor strategy, how to increase attendee engagement virtually. There's so much opportunity there. And so it's been a real pleasure being able to not only serve as a speaker or as an event MC, but also to serve as an addition to their team and to help connect them to really phenomenal event tech players like ViewStub or like Dalia Algazar or whomever it is. So it's actually been really, really fun to be able to wear those different hats in a way that serves other people.
That's awesome, and I'm happy that you were on the show today to share that. Any last thoughts? COVID crush. What are you streaming? Any comic books or novels that you're reading? Something you want to share with the listeners and with the audience?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I wrote down this whole list of crushes. This was the one question that I was like, COVID crush, what does that even mean? And to be honest, I think I've probably named almost everybody that
Whose camp are you in? Brian Austin Green or Megan Fox? You know?
Oh, I've got to go with Megan Fox. And also, I definitely thought you were going to go political and ask Biden or Trump. And I was like, wow, that's bold.
No, nobody would do that.
Don't go there. Yeah, let's keep our audience engaged.
Are you a Machine Gun Kelly fan? I mean, come on.
Right. Yeah. Well, okay. So the one show.
We can do that. We can go back to streaming. Like, what are you streaming right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. A lot because I mean, COVID. So, okay, cringeworthy show. Jeffrey Epstein's documentary. If you haven't seen it, super cringeworthy, but also can't look away. And there are definitely some. I think it's important for people to see. So that's the cringeworthy show. If you need a fun, mindless show, Indian Matchmaker on Netflix.
I heard that was very controversial.
What? Okay, well, anything can be controversial.
Yeah, okay.
I found it very interesting. It was eye-opening to, different cultures and traditions, and also just fun to watch. So that was a super fun one. Okay. And then I actually just started, and I know I'm late to the game here, but I just started watching Boardwalk Empire, which is also pretty interesting about prohibition and so everything. I'm all over the place, but it's been fun to have a little bit more time to be entertained.
Yes. Okay. Interesting list. I did not expect, Epstein, who was friends with Trump and with Bill Clinton. So who knows? Yeah.
Bipartisan.
Rich, powerful people. They all hang in the same circle.
Yeah, it turns out. Surprise, surprise.
At the same hotels.
Right.
Okay. I would love to have you back on the show as a guest. You definitely need to be a co-host or to jump in, and maybe you can win a prize. Yeah. So everybody, I'm gonna put the banner up one more time. Make sure to check out her website, and there's a link on her website too. The podcast, and if you need some advice on how to have a more engaging, interactive event, meeting, plan, or trade show, definitely contact the MC with the most, Courtney Stanley. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much, Joel. And thanks to everybody listening or anybody who tunes in later. Definitely connect with me via my website or check me out at Courtney on Stage on pretty much any social media platform you can find. Thanks so much, Joel.
Bye.
Thanks for watching, and join us next week on Tech Fireside Chats.